And just like that, the next episode has begun. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Justice for All. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist, like a video game second commentary. When we last left off, we were interviewing the killer, purported. Well, apparently this actually is the killer. We have proof that it is. But without further ado, let's go to continue. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this manner? This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my client can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did, yes? That person wouldn't be my client for very long, if you know what I mean. They would certainly... That's enough! Please, no more! Very well, it was only a hypothetical anyway. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves, and this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. You... Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die? No! I didn't say anything! The judge had better watch himself. Oh boy, it is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Alright, fair enough. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. That egomaniacal. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow, that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff, just tell us the name already. Patience! Try to calm down a little, it's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're gonna have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. Oh, we're gonna have to present evidence for this? There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on the witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. What are we supposed to present evidence to? This is baloney! To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client. There is something I must first state. Okay? To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. So maybe this might be what we have to present evidence for. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. So it's either 2 or 3, and the reason I'm here today is to an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. Okay. So, what exactly would I need? I don't know what the picture card has to do with anything. Credit card receipt. Do I need to press one of these again? Let me see. Well, let's see. There is something I must first state. Press. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry. Go on. Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about my situation. Okay, nothing new there. I thought maybe I have to present one of these, press one of these again. I'm not gonna do like a dramatic reading of all of these. I'm just going to skim through to see if there's anything. This between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. These are the roles and duties an assassin and his client are to carry out. Oh, we do have to press one of these twice. I'm sorry, but I was just wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. I keep changing between, like, I keep talking like this sometimes, and then sometimes like this. I'm not quite sure which one I want to use. I want to use this one because this sounds a lot more gentlemanly, but you never know. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think. Really. In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. What if it was Adrian Andrews? Like, that would be so crazy! Or what if it was Juan Corrida? Excellent. And that is the reason I am here today on the witness stand. Do we have to press this a second time? That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves, and this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. Okay. Now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client, don't you agree? Yes, please. What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness! What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida? That person's name is... Adrian Andrews! I knew it! Ah, this is going crazy! What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier! Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What?! This can't be! On the phone earlier! What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Oh. Oh! I see. So it's not actually Adrian. It's probably... I see. Confidentiality. I see. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Madame Guard, perhaps. I knew it! This is outrageous! I was deceived! This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who summoned this witness! You! Shelley the Killer! My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Madame Guard. Am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself, the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Madame Guard... I think I'm subtly giving the judge like a slight English accent. Is innocent. It seems to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, Angara will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And Angard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would absolve the defendant?
Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the killer is certainly lying under oath.
It wasn't me.
Listen, everyone, please, the testimony just now. It was all one big lie.
Miss Andrews.
The suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now. You have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie.
But Mr. Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true.
Also, there is quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button, donning the Nickel Samurai's costume.
I haven't saved in a while, let's go ahead and save.
Yeah, but...
who knows? Let's go ahead and go from save point.
The knife and the button. The knife and the button, donning the Nickel Samurai costume.
But that's...
You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impact was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reason to want them both dead.
I know. Mr. Wright! You know the truth. Tell them! Tell them the real story! Who the real killer is! Tell them! Please, help me.
Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright!
Yes, Your Honor?
I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions.
We're not... If we're given the option, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to say who the real killer is.
I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do?
Of course we're not going to request a verdict. Request a trial continue.
Phoenix!
I can't do it, Mia.
I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer.
I know. But Matt Engard is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Adrian Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than Engard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten Engard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust.
His trust?
I told you, it felt like he was purposefully making this a lot longer than necessary, even before the obvious court lengthening processes.
I never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please.
The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer.
Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But, that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done.
I'm not done yet. To see through this witness's lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor.
There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well, the trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer.
Right away, Your Honor.
Has a verdict been reached?
Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more.
About? All you need from me was the name of my client. What else do you need from me? What else could you need from me? What else could you need me for is what he said, actually.
Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are. Usually done.
What is he talking about? Usually done. But what shall we have him testify about now?
Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail.
You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court?
Witness testimony about my client, part 2.
As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is the most unexpected turn of events. For the, 5th time now? However, this time everything has finally been revealed.
Just a second, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
We still have the cross-examination to do.
But you don't need to question a testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness. As if I have a choice here.
Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then
I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose.
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes 2 of us. Alright, cross-examination about my client, part dos. Bet you weren't expecting me to say it in Spanish, were you? Statistically speaking, I probably should have said it in Japanese, but, it's one of those things, I suppose. By the way, it's been a while since I've said anything. Taught you guys a Japanese word in one of these. So, our new word, saibon. Saibon is the word for court, the Japanese name for this case, the Ace Attorney series says Gyakuten Saibon. Gyakuten is it's like a turnabout, if you will. It's like a sudden reversal of something, like a very sudden reversal, and then Saibon is a court, so Gyakuten Saibon is, Anyway, without further ado,
as I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, what is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time.
Witness, about requesting a hit.
Yes?
How much is your fee? I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney.
Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not thinking of hiring Mr. Wright!
Yes?
You want to kill me! You want me dead, don't you? What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor? Guilty, Mr. Phoenix Wright! You are hereby declared guilty!
Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not?
One thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime.
I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill.
If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party.
That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer.
And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders.
Honestly, I don't think that Madame Guard really cares.
However, my client this time thought they could run away from their guilt. My client did it to frame another for the crime.
Are you talking about the button and the knife?
Yes, and my business card.
Oh, this card.
So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy? My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here.
By the way, awkward pause, see you guys in the next episode.